This history of Kew begins as Kew itself began, on the river bank. Along with this stretch of the river lies the oldest part of Brentford and of Kew. Kew is a suburban district in the London borough of Richmond upon the Thames. The walk is worth it for the views even if you are alone. This section of the river is a joy for bird watchers. You can see swans here, the Canada geese, the screaming flocks of gulls, the ducks, coots, and grebes, the herons nesting in the trees or standing solitary like statues on the further bank.
The best remedy for those who are afraid, lonely, or unhappy is to go outside, somewhere where they can be quiet, alone with the heavens, nature and God. Because only then does one feel that all is as it should be and that God wishes to see people happy amidst the simple beauty of nature.
Kew Riverside, on the Thames path with its enchanting river views so favoured by residents, visitors, and artists. For centuries there was a ferry here, its landing stage close to the Brentford ferry gate, and earlier still, a little further upstream, a ford where people once crossed the Thames on foot. At low tide then the river was only 3 feet deep. This is the site of the Great Ford of Brentford, and the most probably the original wharf or quay that gave its name to Kew.
No, I cycle sometimes along the river.
Kew Bridge crosses the River Thames between Kew Green in Kew on the south bank and Brentford on the north bank. It is immediately adjacent to the Royal Botanic Gardens on the Kew side of the river and the former Grand Junction Waterworks Company buildings, later the London Museum of Water and Steam, on the north. Beside the bridge on the downstream Kew Bank is Kew Pier, which serves tourist ferries operating under license from London River Services. Kew Bridge railway station was named after this nearby Kew Bridge. Kew Bridge is one of those great stone bridges that looks like it will be there forever. Along the Kew Bridge, there is a nice partly shaded walk that splits into two paths, one for cyclists and one for pedestrians. Among these are sports and leisure open spaces, schools, transport links, architecture, restaurants, no high-rise buildings, churches, modest road sizes, trees, and gardens. Today, Kew is an expensive residential area because of its suburban hallmarks. We can still recapture something of the feeling of those medieval times if we walk further upriver towards Richmond and see where Edward and Henry's chose to build. The river itself is full of interest. There are many sunny pub gardens to Riverside Park. The frequency of joggers seems to increase as the day goes by. All the dogs are having a lovely time here. It's great time to enjoy walking by the sandy banks. Kew is the location of the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew Gardens as it's known by many around, now a World Heritage Site, which includes Kew Palace. Kew is also the home of important historical documents such as Domesday Book, which is held at the National Archives. The oldest area of the village, the original Kew Ward, has also many of its shops, but it has preserved its Georgian ambience. You do get to see several interesting boats when the river is low. Unsurprisingly, there are expensive riverfront houses.
spoilt it.
Quayside towards Brentford is an area full of artists, poets, writers, singers, filmmakers, designers, musicians, dancers, engravers, caricaturists etc. all of us with their creations trying to improve the world and ourselves in a beautiful way. There can be found lots of historical figures at the same time and other living people.